can even put this on.
Yeah, I turn the recorder on.
Okay.
So,
And let me see if I can put this. Oh, I'm not the host. So I was going to say I might be able to put it right on my Facebook page, but I'm not the host, so I can't do that.
yeah.
But yeah, you can, having it live. I mean, you and I could have a whole chat, and like then other people could watch it whenever they have time, So.
Oh, here comes one, Linda.
So now we're recording.
Yep. And Linda's just joining us. Linda's
Hi,
back.
Linda.
She just joined. She's not in yet. Come on, joining. Maybe her computer's slow.
Yeah, there's like literally something in the Wi-Fi the last couple of days has been so bad at my house. I mean, I'm really glad that it's not glitching for this, but I keep having to switch over to my phone because our house Wi-Fi is like just goes dead.
Here we are. Linda, hi. Oops, she's connecting to the audio. Are you there? I don't see her yet. I hear something, but I don't.
Something's happening.
Yeah.
But we should tell people too, like how you and I know each other, right?
Right.
Like, we go way back.
Way back.
Way back. Yeah. So Linda, Judy and her husband Cliff were friends with my parents. So in part of the Newport Yacht Club, and the Newport Yacht Club does races every year to Block Island, which was something that Cliff and his family did for years. And my parents were the race committee boat for that, on the same boat I have now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have there's a plaque on the boat that says, that thanks them for their many years of race committee duties. So
Linda, are you there? Linda?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, good. So Maria's telling us how we met.
Yeah.
Many years ago.
So I knew Cliff when he was married to Linda, and then I knew Cliff when he was married to Judy. So,
yeah. And we lived in Newport at the time.
Right.
And
we're good friends with my parents.
Right. I always loved your mother. She always had beautiful jewelry and just a beautiful woman.
Thank you. She was a ticket. We were just like saying she's been gone 17 years as of the end of August. So hard to believe. I know. Yes. She died way too young at 67. So yeah. And now that I'm 55, I realize just how really young that was,
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
My mother, 65.
Yeah.
And so I'm very fortunate. I feel very, very fortunate that I'm 77 going on 78.
Oh, you look wonderful.
So I'm very fortunate to have that much, because the women in my family died at 62.
Yeah. So like you realize that as you get older, like every day's a gift, right? And I mean,
it is. It is.
My husband and I are thinking about spending some time down south this winter. And because I said to him, well, what? He's like, well, we're too young for that. Because, he's 60, I'm 55. He goes, we're going to be snowbirds at that age. I said, well, I don't want to wait. I mean, there's nothing keeping us here. Our kids are launched. And so I thought, why not? Right.
You have how many children?
Two. I have a 26-year-old that lives most of the time in New York. She works for a school in Harlem, and she's remote right now. So she's been home a lot because she loves the summer in Rhode Island. So she and her dog, Tommy, have been home. And then my son just started graduate school at Boston University.
Wow.
In September this month. So so he's living in Boston. So I have one in Boston, one in New York.
So. Nice, but it's not as bad as mine. Mine are California, North Dakota, Michigan, and here.
Oh my Lord, that's spread out.
It is spread out.
I hope that mine don't end up that far away from me.
Yeah, it's hard, but
they keep coming home though, so that's good. And I, like, as much as I hated what was going on with COVID, I did love having them home. So they both moved home for about 6 months during that. So that wasn't terrible.
The nice thing about it, Marie, is that we get to visit. I can go to California in February and North Dakota in the spring.
Right. And I got the place that we rented for where we're going is big enough for my kids to come and, hang out with us. I got extra bedrooms and, just so that we have a little extra space so people can come and visit.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're taking 3 dogs in the car to Florida from Rhode Island to Florida.
I got another person coming in, a couple more people here. Denise and Heidi. They might be your friends.
They might be my people.
Yeah. Leanne's phone. So we got a few people coming in.
Cool.
Emit.
Hey,
trying to admit these people. Hi, everybody.
It's warm in here. Hi, everyone. Might just take a second.
Yeah, they're connecting. I think Heidi's connected. Heidi, are you connected? No.
Rhode Island Wi-Fi has been really spotty. We've been talking about that. Yes.
Their thing is on. Ask to unmute. Ask to unmute. Yeah. I'm not very good with the computer.
You're doing great. You're doing great. You're doing better than I do with Zoom. I stink at Zoom.
Okay, connecting audio. The other two are still got their
all right, well, they'll join us when they're ready. I put this on my my Ganson Island group. I just posted to it. I said, hey, I'm Zooming with the Block Island Library. My friend in the Block Island Library, come and join us, so we might get a few people. They may keep coming in. So
Heidi, are you on? No,
I'm trying to get my video.
Ah, there you go.
We've got a pretty picture.
At least you got your voice. So, and then Denise is connecting to her audio, and Leanne asked to unmute.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
There's Heidi.
Hi.
Sorry, I'm thinking, I ran into my son's bedroom to hide out.
Did you see my post, or are you on Block
I
Island?
did. I did.
Okay.
I saw your post.
I'm sort of on Block Island, but not tonight.
Yes. So I visited Block Island this summer as part of my 40th birthday trip. And we stayed at the Blue Dory Inn right across the street from
the
Block Island Library.
We stay there too.
Awesome. And I am a school teacher. So I was like, I have to visit the library. So we just went and made a visit. So when I saw it, I was like, I have to go. I have to zoom in.
Oh, I'm so glad you did. That's so awesome, because the library is the one reliable place on the island to get Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay.
Everybody visits the library for Wi-Fi, right, Judy?
No, you're right. Yes, this is the one place where they can get it with 24/7.
Yes, I need to have a hot and sexy 70-something-year-old librarian on Ganson Island. That needs to be my next character, a cougar.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready.
So
yeah, no,
Judy and I were saying earlier, we've known each other for like 30 years because she and her late husband were friends with my late parents. So we've known each other for a long time. Yeah. And I send all the books to Judy because I know Judy and she's a librarian and she's my friend. So we keep Block Island in books.
Unfortunately, my sign says Kristen Bauman, who is our director.
Oh, that's
so
okay.
She sets it up for me. So you're saying Judy and it's saying Kristen, but
yeah, so Kristen
I am Judy. But Kristen is our director and she sets the host program up. So
awesome.
And she's a great gal, I'll tell you. She does a lot of things for this library. We just had another author last night. I was so hoping that Marie could have come to the island.
I know. I haven't told my readers this, but I was trying to take my boat to Block Island this month, and we've been waiting for our window of opportunity where there weren't 4 or 5 foot seas, and there just literally has not been a day when there weren't like great big seas. And I'm here to tell you, the first time I do that, it's going to be flat, calm, like a milk pond, or I'm not doing it. So, because for me to go to Block Island on the boat is open ocean. So it's not for long. It's only like for like an hour, but long enough, I want the conditions to be just right. So
yeah. Now, I forget, did your family has a powerboat, right?
Yes, we have a 36-foot powerboat. That was my parents.
Right.
And so this is we're finishing up our 33rd year with that boat.
Wow.
So which means, the boat is old, the engines are old. It's all very well maintained and very good. In fact, my mechanic told me that it's time for me to take it to Block Island, and he expected to hear that I was going to be there this year. And it's just so busy here in July and August, so much going on for us, that I was hoping to do it right after Labor Day, because it also is a little calmer in Block Island at that time too, as far as like being able to get a mooring and being able, there's not as many people,
right?
It's not as crowded.
Well, you can
you guys kind of get your island back after Labor Day, right? A little bit.
You can also come Columbus Day, which is what was Cliff.
Yeah, but in October, I'm not taking the boat to sea. I'm not doing that. No.
Well, that was Cliff's,
I know that was the big race that they had every year. And I think it's a different dynamic for sailboats because sailboats have the big keel that comes down.
Right.
So when they're hitting big waves, it's not like as like jarring. But for me, I have nothing under, so it's like and I don't want to do that under any circumstances. Do I want to do that? So,
oh, I hear you.
Especially because I'm still getting used to just like putting around without my dad, you know, even 3 years later. It's a big deal for me to take that boat off the mooring.
Well, at least you did it. You're brave enough to do that.
I'm doing it. Yes. I'm a lady boss captain. we literally just had dinner with one of my husband's cousins, and I was talking about my internal combustion engines and carburetors versus fuel injectors, and he was very impressed.
Very good. Well, now you see you can write a book. You write a book about your sailing experience.
I know stuff. And I said, yes, when you're a female owner of a boat with 2 Chrysler 440 internal combustion engines, you get a lot of mansplaining that goes on too. Like the guys like to tell me. And then when we'll be driving around the harbor in the boat and my husband's out on the front and I'm at the helm, people are like, why is there a woman at the helm when there's a perfectly good man on that boat?
Because we're capable.
Lady boss. Every time a boat goes by with a woman at the helm, I'm like, lady boss, lady captain. But yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what you write now.
So right now, I just finished State of Grace, which is the second First Family book. So really the 18th Sam and Nick book, including the 16 Fatal books and 2 novellas, and then now the second book in First Family. So I just finished that. That book almost killed me. It was 105,000 words so far. I expect it'll probably grow from there before the editing is done. And now I'm working on the first of what's going to be a spin-off of Fatal, another spin-off called The Wild Widows, which is about a character that was introduced in Fatal in book 14, Ronnie Conley, whose husband was caught by a stray bullet on 12th Street on a regular day in DC. A bullet hit him, killed him instantly. And now she's a 29-year-old widow. And so I'm writing a new series about young widows, and I'm using her as kind of like a launching pad for that. So very excited. This book it's coming right along. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now, is writing that one.
Good. We're having more people join us, so you might have to repeat a little bit. Or
that's okay. And we can take questions from them too if you want.
Yeah, people can unmute if they want to and ask the questions.
And there's a thing on Zoom where you can raise your hand too, and then Judy can tell you to go ahead. You know, so
right now I have the National with their music, if you can hear it a little bit on the radio. So I've got background music along with.
So the National is played by the Beachcomber in Gansett Island.
Okay.
It's called the Beachcomber on Gansett Island. So it's really like right next door to the library.
It is.
And now they have the outdoor entertainment in the side yard, which we loved when we were out there this year. It's great.
Yeah, and they got the heaters and so forth. But he gets on about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and he starts playing, and I don't know what time he leaves because.
Well, they have to quit by 9, I think, by town ordinance, right?
I think so, yeah.
I heard him say he's not allowed to play 1 minute after 9 p.m. I heard him say that. So, Heidi has a question?
Go ahead, Heidi, unmute.
Okay, so I was telling you when I logged on that I went to Block Island this summer as part of my birthday trip, and I followed. I went on your website and hit almost everything of the high points that you had listed. It was a wonderful time. That's but what is your? I was just wondering, like, what is your favorite thing to do when you go for a weekend or a trip to Block Island?
So we usually go for about 5 days every summer. We go like Sunday to Friday because we want to be out of there before the weekend hits. We usually try to go in July or August, which is the busiest time of the year there. So we don't want to be there on the weekends. So our favorite thing to do is nothing, like really, like seriously, like I like to sit on the beach. I love we go one day, we go to Ballard's. They have like, you can rent like lounge chairs and umbrellas, and they bring you food and drinks. I mean, it's always like we joke, it's our most expensive day on the island. because it's expensive to rent the stuff and it's expensive to get the food and the drinks. But like for one day, we just live it up out there at Ballard's. And Ballard's has the really big surf too. So the kids love that. And then the rest of the time, there's the town beach is right behind where we stay at the Blue Dory, which we stay down the street a little bit from the Blue Dory. There's like a yellow cottages that's right across the street from the liquor store, which is the only liquor store on Block Island. Although now they do sell booze in the grocery store too, which was a new development. I think that was this year, Judy, right? Like,
Yeah.
just started
Well,
selling-
no, I think they had it for a couple of years now.
Well, that was the
Yeah.
first time we'd seen it but for the most part, the only place to buy liquor on the island is it's the the Red Door?
The Redbird.
Red Bird. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's right across the street from where we stay. And so my husband and my best friend's husband, their favorite thing to do is sit on the front porch and just watch people coming and going from the liquor store. There is nonstop hilarity. We see people fall into the store. We see people fall out of the store. We see cars hit the building. We see, like, you name it, it goes on at the Redbird. So it's really good people watching. We enjoy that very much. We like to go to Aldo's and have Italian food at Aldo's. We usually end up there twice. We love the National. This year we went to what's the place on Corn Neck, Judy, that has the Asian food?
Oh, I can't think. I don't. Linda, do you know?
It's next door to the Irish place.
Tiger.
I can't remember the name of it.
Tigerfish.
Tigerfish.
That's it. Tigerfish.
Oh my
I can
God.
never remember it.
That was incredible. That meal was massive. Number one, we got a poo-poo platter that would knock your eye out. It was so good. And we had never been there before. So that will be a new regular stop for us. Yeah. So we just kind of like chill on the beach. Dan likes to ride his bike or laps around the island. Some people like to go hiking. And then we just eat. That's kind of what we do.
Will the tigerfish show up in any Gansett Island books?
Tigerfish might have to show up, huh? Well, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I kind of tend to make things up out there and not use the real names of stuff. So like there's a couple of things like you'll note that it was Cara Ballard, and Ballard's is a big institution on Block Island. So I've brought some stuff like that in, I'm trying to think, there was a couple of other examples of that and I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I do try to get stuff into Gansett that kind of like people who are Block Island people would go, oh, nudge, nudge, wink. I get that, so, but I'm about ready to release Gansett number 24, which I cannot believe. So.
Wow.
I know. And
You're ready for that one, right, Linda?
You bet.
Yeah, Gansett forever, right? Like I just polled the group. I'm like, are you guys tired of Gansett? They're like, no. So
yeah, they love it.
I call Gansett the gift that keeps on giving.
Mm-hmm.
It started out as this like little, one book, Made for Love, and then next thing you know, there were 2 and then 3, and now there's 24, and it's just like, and that's over about 15 years. Which is just amazing to me, the way the time goes by, so.
Are any of the characters based on real people?
So Big Mac McCarthy is based on somebody that I knew as a kid, who actually was the steward of the East Greenwich Yacht Club when we were kids. And as I said, my parents they had boats always. And so we were always going off on little adventures. And one of the places we would go is up the bay to East Greenwich, and we would stay at this yacht club. And my dad was friends with the steward, is known as in a yacht club, but it's the manager. And we would get there and he would recruit my brother and I to like load the soda machine and peel corn for him and all the things that we would never do if our parents asked us to do it. But if he asked us to do it, and then he would play wiffle ball with us, and he was very much like Big Mac. My brother and I could not wait to see him every year. He was a very good friend of my parents, and we always enjoyed spending time with him. So Big Mac McCarthy was definitely inspired by him. As for other people on Gansett Island that are real people, I don't think there are any. The rest of them is all just made up.
Okay.
Well,
I have some associations, but.
Just click the raise your hand button on there if anybody else has questions they want to ask. But yeah, a lot of Gansett, you can tell like the Beachcomber is the national, the Sand and Surf Hotel is the surf. It was, I can't call it the new name. What's it called now? The surf,
Oh, the beach,
Beachhead, right?
yeah, yes.
I
something
can't
to
call
that.
it that.
Beach house.
The
Beach
beach house,
house.
the beach house. I can't call it that.
No,
We don't call it that
none of
either.
us do.
Yeah, it's like the Newport Bridge, right? They renamed it to the Pell Bridge, like,
Mhm.
and like people will come from out of town and they're like, oh yeah, we drove across that Pell Bridge. I'm like, no. It's the Newport Bridge, okay? Or they'll say the Verrazano Bridge. I'm like, no. It's the Jamestown Bridge, okay? Like the locals don't call them by those names, you know? But the surf was there for 50, 60 years, Judy. Like, and I mean, how are we
long
supposed
time.
to call it something else?
It was there a long time before I came to this island. I'll
So
tell
long.
you
It's
that
been
one.
there as long as I've been going there, which is all my life. So
Mhm.
yeah. And the thing is that they really did fix it up. It looks really nice. They really cleaned it up and it looks really nice. And it's got beautiful new branding and everything, but it's still the surf.
Yes, it is to all of us.
To all of us
Yes.
old schoolers, right?
Yeah. My sister, when she, on her birthday, used to come over and sit on the porch of just to watch the people go by. So,
The porch of the surf is one of the best spots in all of New England, Rhode Island for sure. That is
Mhm.
just a little piece of paradise on both sides too, like the street side and the ocean side. There's just like, if you love people watching and stuff, sitting on the front porch of the surf, you see everything. You see the ferries coming and going. You see all the crazy people in town. You see the bikes, the mopeds, it's in sheer insanity. And then on the other side is the ocean side, which is just exquisite. Best sunsets, best. Yeah. Although I do sit down on the beach and look up at it, and it's got this like incredible series of supports and stilts like holding up this whole outdoor deck and bar. And every time I'm on that bar and I'm thinking like, oh, I've seen the underside of this and I'm not so sure I like this. You know? But I assume it's all been rebuilt since the new owners came in. But that place was for sale for something like $14 million for, I want to say 10 years. I mean, close to 10 years, maybe. It was closed down and for sale. And every summer we would walk by it and talk about, oh, we should buy the surf.
mm,
Right.
yeah, if you have the money.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't have the money and also did not have the ability to imagine renovating a place like that on Block Island, like all the, like I talk about in the book about Mac having to bring over construction equipment. Everything has to come on the ferries. Can you imagine doing a whole hotel renovation and having to coordinate all that? That would be daunting.
Well, that's what we do for groceries every week too.
I
Unless
know.
we have to run to the big for a quickie.
The big,
you know,
that's what you guys call it, right?
Yeah, the big, BIG, Block Island Grocery.
Yep. Yeah. And like, how often do you get off the island?
I used to go once a week, but now that I have my great granddaughter going to school here, I don't. So
Wow.
I don't go as often.
I didn't know that your great granddaughter was there with you.
Oh
That's
yeah.
awesome.
She's going to school here. She's in
That's
second
awesome.
grade. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. How fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
And how many kids are in her class in second grade?
Now there's 13, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big class.
I was going to say that's a lot. And
When
how many in the whole school then? Like for K through 12 is probably like 100, right?
About that, or maybe a little
Yeah.
bit more.
Because
Yeah,
there's 900 year-round residents on the
right.
island. Is
A
that
little
about
bit
right?
more than that, about 1,000.
About 1,000 now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I graduated, there was only 2.
Wow. So you graduated from Block Island School?
Yes. Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I need to be interviewed.
And Clifford did too. Clifford
Did
did
he?
too. Yeah.
Oh my God. I
He
had no idea.
graduated the year before.
So I knew he was from there and grew now Cliff would be Judy's late husband and Judy, for people who joined late, Judy and her husband were friends of my parents from like 30 years ago. And that's how we know each other. But I didn't know that you grew up out there. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you still live in the same home that you grew up in?
No, Cliff both and I lived up on Beacon Hill.
Okay.
And his grandmother lived right below us. And
Oh.
Cliff lived across the street from us.
So you knew him always growing up and
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We were going to get married, but of course, mother says you're too young. So
Yeah.
he went in the service and I went to school.
And you both married other people.
And we both married other people.
I know that his wife died.
Yep.
And then you guys came back and
Yep.
met up again and
right.
Yeah.
We got married.
How long were you guys married?
11 years before he died.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but we were together 18.
Yeah, I
'Cause
knew
we
it was
stayed
I was
together
gonna
for
say that was
years.
more than that. It was more
Yeah,
than that.
yeah.
Yeah. That's really an awesome story. Maybe I need to bring that into
There you go.
Yeah. I like that's so cool. Like what tell us like okay, I'm turning this whole thing around. Tell us what it was like to grow up on Block Island. Like what like are the winters like and what did you guys do for fun and what did kids do to entertain themselves?
In those days, we had a bowling alley.
Oh,
So we had a 4-lane bowling alley that we would bowl once or twice a week.
where was that on the island?
The Seacrest Hotel
Okay.
was the old bowling alley.
Okay.
And then, of course, there was at the school, they had a movie every Friday. You paid $1 to go to the movies.
So cute.
And
Was
then,
the
of
movie
course,
theater there that you guys have now? Did they have that movie theater?
they did, but I don't remember it functioning in the wintertime.
Okay. The fact
Yeah.
that it barely functions in the summer.
Well, right now it isn't because of COVID. They're
But
doing
it's all
other
folding
things.
chairs and like just like the one on Gansett Island, there's windows that like when cars come around the corner, the headlights come in and yeah, there's no frills. And the same guy that sells you your ticket gives you your popcorn and then turns the movie on. Super awesome. It's super awesome. My kids, when they were little, my kids used to love to go to movies there because it was different than the ones on the mainland. So
Here's the
is that your
girl.
girl?
Yep, that's my girl.
Hi there.
Say hi. Can you say? That's
So you're
Mother
in
Goose
second
Smith.
grade or third?
Second. Say it. You have to
Second,
talk to her 'cause
okay.
she can't hear you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what else did you guys do for fun on Block Island back in the day? Did
Well,
you
of course,
do-
when in the wintertime you went ice skating or ice boating, but the majority of the time we just took and ride around the island, in our cars.
in
Just
big
rode around.
circles. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one road that goes all the way around. Yeah. And that's still something that I enjoy doing is going around the island like that. So what were the places that were there when you were growing up that are still there? Like the National, right? Like so
All of them. Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah, they were all here.
Yeah, like-
Yeah, I don't really remember too much, nothing was really open after September, Labor Day, closed down. Everything closed down. I mean, it was like dead.
It was like somebody flipped a switch, right? Yeah.
Right,
That's
right.
The way, now it goes till Columbus Day.
Right. And
That's the way it is in Newport too.
and
Newport's
even
like that.
even in November on the weekends, we have people coming. We don't have as many boats in the wintertime now. And then in those days, we only had one or two boats.
Yeah. And how many come in a day now? Like 12, right? Like on a summer day.
Oh, yeah, a lot of
They're
them.
back and forth almost every hour, right?
Yeah. And then you have the high-speed ferry.
The high-speed ferry. We were on that from Newport this year. I think I might have told you this when I saw you. It was the roughest ride we've ever had.
Yeah.
It was bonkers. And the thing about that was crazy is it didn't look like it was going to be like that. It looked
Right.
like it was going to be really nice. The minute we cleared Castle Hill, we were like, holy crap. I mean, my dog, Sam Sullivan, he jumped into my lap and he's like, what is happening? I had to like hold him the whole way. Oh yes, he's groaning down there. I'm talking about him. Yeah. So it was wild. And I mean like that's no fun. I got to be honest with you, especially on the high speed, because they kind of tend to like smash into the waves. So it's very jarring. Like the bigger boats kind of ride them a little bit, but the high speed is like bam, bam, bam. And you're just like, oh my God. By the time we got there, we were all just like, whoa. We were all like this.
Yeah. From here to Newport, from here to Point Judith, it's a fast ride, but like you said, it's a very bouncy ride.
Yeah, 30
and
minutes.
I prefer the traditional ferry.
You like the traditional?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But on
better.
a calm day, the high speed is fun.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's the fastest you'll ever go on a boat, really. You're like, I'm like this with my hair is like, you feel like you're getting a facelift if you're like going into the wind. It's really, that can be really fun, but it was not fun going out there the day that we went this year. It was very rough. It used to be back in the day that would really freak me out. I've gotten better about it. It doesn't scare me the way it used to, but it used to really I didn't like it when it was like that. I don't know. I mean,
I don't think anybody does really.
No,
I've been on that ferry on the traditional where you had to put your foot on the post just to stay on the seat.
I've done that too. My cousin and I had a very memorable trip out there when we were in our 20s. my parents were out there on the boat and a nor'easter came through. And as soon as the storm was over, my father's on the phone with me. I want you to come out and visit. Bring Jean, blah, blah, blah. Let's go, So off we go. And he's like, oh, the storm is all over. It was the roughest. Oh my God. And so she and I are sitting in the stairwell down, because they always say, I used to date actually one of the guys who grew up to be a ferry boat captain and he always used to tell me, you would recognize his name if I told it to you, Judy, but I'm not going to say it. He's a bigwig with Interstate. To stay down low on the boat, because the lower you are, the less you're in the play of the boat doing this, right? So my cousin and I go down as far low as they would let us go, and all around us vomit is like raining down from the upper decks, and she and I are both what we call sympathetic pukers. Like, we see puke, we puke, So we smell puke, we puke, So we're both like, oh my God. Most of the time was the minute you get off the boat, you feel pretty good again. You can kind of get back to life. That day, my parents, they greet us at the ferry dock. They're like, let's go to lunch. We're like, no lunch. And then they were like, let's go back to the boat. You can lay down. We're like, no boat. So we were sick all day. It was one of those days. It was just because everyone around us was getting sick,
Mm-hmm.
It was bad. It was one of those days where they clean the boats with the fire hoses after a ride. Ugh. You don't want to be going out of there after they've just cleaned the boat with a fire hose.
Yeah, there you go.
We also one time were there for a tropical storm, which was 3 full days with no ferries.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend and I were sitting on the beach watching the last of the traditional ferries leave Old Harbor, which is South Harbor in Gansett. North Harbor, I'm sorry. And they're going out of the breakwater, and the big 200-foot ferry goes all the way over to this side, all the way over to that side, all like this. And my friend and I were like, whoa, like, it was making us sick just looking at it. And that was the last ferry for 3 days. Yeah. And what happens when there's no ferries, Judy? There's nothing, right?
No, there's nothing. You stay here and you anchor down. That's all you
live
do.
off the land, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So by the 3rd day, we were going to restaurants and they were giving us menus of what they had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't just like the full menu you get in a restaurant. They're like, this is what we have. And then the island crisis starts to run out of beer. The island runs out of cash. The cash machines, there's no more cash. The island runs out of milk.
Yeah.
Like, funny stuff, that you don't really think about. Ice, like, everything comes from the mainland. Everything, right? Just about.
Right. Well, in the wintertime, in the summertime, we have gardens, which we take care of. And then, so we have fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. This time of year, the fruit is plentiful. The apples are just falling off the trees now.
Well,
so you get the apples and make nice apple pie. Yeah.
You have honey out there. You have wine that's made on the island, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so there are some things that are local. But for the most part, everything that comes onto the island, clothing, mail, food, booze, like watching the booze come off the ferries, like on a Friday, watching like the big pallets of like kegs of beer before a big summer weekend, like, and the ferry landing is like a hub of just, it's like this, isn't it like the nerve center of the whole island?
It is. Well, we too, when I was growing up, that's what you went and did. You went to the post office and you went to meet the ferry.
Yeah.
That was the excitement. Find out what the news was, the local news, and find out what was going on.
My mom, we used to stay at Payne's, and there were the docks, the ferries would come in from like New London and stuff. And my mom, my brother and I were little, she would take us by the hands and we would walk down to meet Uncle Charlie, because like there was nothing to do, right? So we would walk down the main pier at Payne's to go meet the ferry, and we'd be like, who the hell is Uncle Charlie? She's trying to entertain 2 kids out there, while my dad worked in aviation on the mainland. So he had a guy that he worked with who he had his own aviation maintenance company in a different part of Rhode Island. So his coworker would fly out to Block Island, pick him up. Okay. This is all before cell phones. Fly him to the mainland for the workday, leaving my mother to entertain 2 kids with things like visits to see Uncle Charlie coming off the ferry. We would go crabbing. We would eat Mrs. Payne's donuts. And like by noon, we were out of stuff to do, So then he would come back at dinner time, and we would know it was him coming. This is the coolest thing. He's come flying in over Payne's, and they would tip the wings over the boat so that we would know it was them. And that would mean get ready, dad's coming in hungry. He wants to go to dinner, so I have such vivid memories of seeing that plane coming and knowing it was him, and like,
Mhm.
and then they would land at the Block Island airport, and then his friend would take off. And so when we would go out there for like a week or two, he would go to work like every other day, so that he could have a little vacation, but his
Mhm.
business was always very busy in the summer, so it was
Yeah.
hard for him to take a couple weeks off, but that's how we got around it.
Well, I don't know if you know, but my father was the airplane pilot when I was growing up here.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
like that, like for the airline that flew out of there?
Yeah, like New England Air, he was
Right.
New England Air took over for him, and
I
my
see.
father was Travel Air Service.
I got you.
Yeah.
I know of two very big crashes involving planes out there.
Yeah, not my dad.
No, I was going to say, I hope not. But one
No.
of them, they hit a gas tank, right?
Yes.
Yes. And it killed the police chief's mother. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That was terrible.
Yeah, it
And then
was
another
terrible.
one crashed off of Block Island Sound and had like a number of year-round island residents on it, right? I
Mhm.
remember that. That was like in the 90s, right?
Yeah, I wasn't here then though, so
Yeah, I
I
want to
don't
say it was
remember
like
that
the
one.
90s. It was very memorable. It was very tragic.
Mhm.
But so I mean, because like that, you're out there flying out in the middle of nowhere out there, really,
Right. Well, and the airport isn't that big,
No. But they
the
have a really
runway.
good diner. We like the diner.
Oh, yes, Bethany's. It's
Good
very good.
breakfast. And
Mhm.
it's all like vintage stuff on the walls. It's very cool. It's
Right.
like it reminds me of Wings. You remember the
Mm.
show Wings? The
Yep.
Block Island Airport. It's just like that. Right down to the breakfast place and the little general aviation.
Right.
Yeah, it's very cool. I probably should do more with the airport on Gansett, right?
There you go.
See how I get ideas, you guys? This is how it happens. I told Judy before, I need a 70 something, very like cougarish librarian to come on to Gansett Island with her new very cute short haircut.
That would
Yeah,
be
so
cute.
Gansett, like it's funny because like one of the big challenges of writing Gansett is coming up with full-time professions for everybody. So like, people have to have jobs, and Gansett, like Block Island, is very much a tourist industry focused economy. So coming up with jobs for people to do the rest of the year, I probably need to do a librarian. I need to do a teacher at the school.
Mhm.
I haven't done much with the school because the kids of Gansett are just now getting into like first grade,
Oh,
so
okay.
that would be a good opportunity to bring somebody in.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, I'm not out of stories for Gansett. People, I just did this poll in the reader group. I'm asking them, are we still on board with Gansett? And I got a lot of yes.
Well, that's
Yeah,
good to know.
a few people said it's run its course, but I don't feel like it has. So if I don't feel like it has, I actually think the last 4 or 5 books are some of the best ones in the series. Like I really liked writing Finn McCarthy's story with Chloe, who is the hairstylist on the island, and she's battling. We find out she's battling rheumatoid arthritis, and her hands are giving her trouble, and like, I thought that was a really good storyline for them. That made it fun, so stuff like that. So Bren is saying, no way has it run its course. Thank you for that. Yeah, a few people said they felt like it had run its course, but I just like the overwhelming majority, those are the ones I hear, are the ones that said, yeah. So the people that say, oh, I want more Gansett. So those are the ones I'm listening to.
Mhm.
So Heidi has to go feed her kids. So nice to see you
Yeah.
here. Thanks for coming out to say hello. So if anybody else has any other questions before Judy and I wrap up our little chat here, feel free to pop in. The next Gansett Island book is going to be Resilience After Dark, which will be book number 25, which is hard to believe. We'll have to do some sort of celebration for book 25.
Wow.
Yeah. It feels like 5 minutes ago I was writing book 1, but that was actually 15 years ago. So.
Doesn't seem like that.
No, I mean, and if I wasn't writing other series, I'd be on like book 40 by now or something, So Kim is saying that Gansett Island is a series that introduced me to Marie. I think a lot of people have had that experience because I had Made for Love free for so many years. It was free for years and years. And I may make it free again. I need to probably get it back up for free. It's like, give somebody like an introduction to the series, and then hopefully they like it enough to want to read the rest, so I don't really feel like that's anything lost in that, if you're especially a reader like Kim, who now comes to Reader Weekend, and she's become a regular. So and she found me through a freebie of Made for Love, so I'm very glad about it. And now her sisters read my books too, and like people, like every wonderful reader tells other readers, hey, come and check these books out, so yeah. So anybody else have anything? But I thought it was so cool to get the chance to almost interview you, Linda, about Linda. I'm calling you Linda. I'm looking at Linda, the name right next to your face. And I know that was your husband's first wife, so I don't mean that. But there was the name Linda is right next to you on the screen.
That's Linda Spack. She's
Judy.
an avid reader for our books. Like I said, she's one of the ones that when you send me a book, I put it right away and call her that.
I love that. We try to send you every one of the books. We send you one for the people at Block Island, because Block Island, oh my God, Block Island. My friend Lisa, who her family and we've been going on our annual. So I went, like I said, every summer with my family on the boat, and we would go out for a week or two until my brother and I got older and had summer jobs and couldn't go as much. But then in 2006, we started going with another family in our town, and it's Lisa, who's now my CFO, and she works with me. They're like our best friends, and all of our kids were in the same grades growing up and stuff. So we've just had our 15th year of going on that trip. And Lisa said to me years ago, like, she goes, could you ever believe that these little trips we take every summer would turn into something like what Gansett Island has turned into, and like, it's all because of that. It's all because I go there. It's because I'm there every year. And I'm, just like, and have been for so many years. In fact, I was at Payne's on probably 2 boats ago. Maybe 1 boat ago, when Prince Charles and Princess Diana got married. And we watched it on my brother and my mother and I watched it on a black and white TV. It was sitting in the salt pond, at Payne's. And then when she died, I was also at Payne's on the boat. Now I had my daughter with me, so she would have been 2. And I called home because like I mean kids up at the crack of dawn. So I went up to use the phone, the pay phone, because this is all before cell phones. I called my husband, who's back home in Maryland, and he's like, oh my God, have you seen the news? And I really think I might've been the first person on Block Island to know she was dead, because it was super early, because he would have been just coming home because he worked nights. He would have just been coming home. So I called him super early. And I mean, it was so weird. Like nobody knew. Like I was like I told the Paynes.
Oh, wow.
But so weird that I was there when she got married and I was there when she died. It was kind of crazy, but it's played such a huge role. Of course, now too, bringing my readers out there almost every year for Reader Weekend.
Yeah, that's nice when you do that.
Yeah, so we'll be back out there this year. We took a year in DC. Well, we lost a year last year, like everyone did.
Right.
And then this year we were in DC. And so next year we'll be back in Rhode Island. So we're looking forward to that. I only get out to Block Island once this year, which is not much for me.
You should come this time of year.
I know, I tried. I was telling Judy, like we were hoping to take the boat out there, and we were waiting for a good opportunity. And then we wanted to go after Labor Day. And then what was the hurricane that came through? It didn't come here, but it went by here last week. Larry, right?
Or Henry?
No, it was after that. It was Larry. Larry went off to the right, but it churned up big seas for us last week. So we were supposed to go last week was the plan. And then I told Judy we might come this week, but I look at the NOAA has a buoy right off of Block Island, the weather buoy,
Yes.
And I look at it every morning, and honestly, I have not seen less than 4-foot seas in like a couple of it's been a while. And so I am not going out there in that. I said, I want a milk pond. I want it to be like, so I'm not taking the boat out. I don't want to go that badly in order to, to risk that. Cause like I said earlier, it's open ocean for me. I don't want to be like, SS Minnow. you know. So, all right. Well, Judy, you need to get that little girl home, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's ready for bed. She gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning to catch a 7 o'clock bus.
Lord,
Yeah, so she's kind of tired.
that's early.
Yeah, it is early, but she's one of the first ones on the bus.
Oh, okay.
So,
So there's
and
like a whole school bus for the Block Island school.
right,
And is it
right.
all ages on the bus?
all ages. Yeah.
I bet there's a lot of educating that goes on that bus.
Well, first of all, they don't, the little ones sit up front, and of course, the bigger ones sit in back. The ones that do ride the bus, there's not many teenagers that ride the bus.
Yeah, that's not cool, right?
Yeah, right, right. So
It's
Barbara
so cool.
Barbara just joined us.
Oh, okay. Hi,
Um,
Barbara.
I don't know if she can hear you or not, but
I saw her pop on here. Barbara and
yes,
Linda are two of Judy's regulars that want to read the books the minute they get there.
right.
And I met you guys. They came to our first reader weekend when we had lunch at Ballard's. You guys came over.
Right, we did. Yeah, it was
I
lovely.
remember that.
Yeah.
So anytime we go to Block Island or reader weekend, everybody has to stop by and see Judy at the library, and I'll make sure you know when we're coming.
That would be lovely if they all did.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but thank you for joining us. I
So
really
fun.
appreciate that you were able to come in and join us.
Thanks for having me. It was fun to interview you about growing up on Block Island. I might need to tap into that resource a little more often. I don't
Well,
know
we'll
why
have
I
to-
didn't realize that.
We'll have to talk more
I
sometime.
hope so. I knew that Cliff had grown up there. I did not know that you had too. That's
Yeah.
really awesome.
Yes, well, Clifford, his family is, ancestry goes back to the Rock.
Yeah, I've heard that. I knew that. The
My
Mitchell
ancestry goes to Connecticut.
family.
I'm what they call a carpetbagger.
Oh, so you weren't born there?
No,
Oh,
no, I was born in Connecticut.
okay, but Cliff was, yeah.
No, Cliff was actually born in Newport.
Oh, was
It was
he?
one of those situations where his mother took the fishing boat over to Newport and had the baby there.
Oh, took a fishing boat to Newport to have a baby. Oh my God. Okay, so that's gonna make it into a Gansett Island book. I did. The last babies were born on the life flight.
Well, when he was 2 years old, he had pneumonia. And the doctor here told him he told his mother, just take him home and he's gonna die. Oh, yeah. And she said, no,
he
he's
have
not.
respiratory issues for the rest of his life.
Well, that's where he got pleurisy and stuff like that. Yeah.
That.
So then she took him to Newport, and the doctor there says, hey, we have this miracle drug we want to try. We can't guarantee anything about it. It was penicillin, and they gave him
Oh
the
my God.
penicillin and he recovered.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, quite a story.
Yeah. But I mean, I've done everything with like babies being born on the ferry, babies being born now in helicopter. Haven't done a fishing boat yet.
Well, there you go. Got some more material.
All right. Well, I'll be in touch with you. I've got many more questions for you at some point.
All righty.
All right. Well, thank you.
Whoop, I just got another lady that just wants to join us here. I'll admit her. Jillian. We're coming in late here now. We should have done it at 8 o'clock when everybody could join us.
I know. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, she's just connecting, so maybe we can just,
So if you get a link for the recording, let me know and I'll post it to the group.
Okay.
People can look at it.
Kristen will do
love
that.
hearing your stories too about growing up there.
Kristen will do that for me, and I think she can. I'm not sure if I recorded it correctly, but we'll
Oh,
see.
you did. I saw that. It still says it's recording.
Yeah, it's still recording.
Okay.
So,
Well-
Jolene, we are just about finished here. We thank you for coming, even though it's a little late. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Jolene?
Oh my goodness.
All right. Well, we'll sign off, and then when you have the recording, you can send that to me, and I'll post it so everyone can see it.
All right, we'll do.
All right. Thanks to everybody that popped in to say.
Thank you.
All right. See
Yeah.
you.
All right,
Thank you. Good night,
good night.
Judy.
All right.